Forging links.
Forging links.
Forging links, one person at a time.
Oh,
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, well I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. But I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh Lord, oh Lord. But I've been waiting for this moment for all my life.
Hello, everyone. Don't you just love that gorilla?
Can play the drums pretty well as well.
Welcome, everybody.
Oh, great.
We've got some new people on our call this morning, and it's nice to have you here. There's something that we want to share with you today, and it's not to cause any kind of confusion or anything. It's just that as Team Distinction, we've received a certain amount of information, but I've been listening to all other, looking at lots of things all over the place. And I don't know about you guys, but I still tune into the live presentations, the corporate presentations every day, just because I love the presentation, but mainly because I love the comments at the end. And yesterday I was watching Tammy's presentation, and she let everyone have the comments at the end, and then she jumped on and said something, and so I've just recorded it with my phone, so it's real crappy. But Paul, share why we're sharing this.
Yeah, again, going back over the last 2 weeks, clearly, with what's happening with the movement forward towards HyperNation, it's quite clear that there are two thoughts. Do we go forward with what we're doing right now? And there's that camp, and then the other camp is, do we sit back? Do we hold on? If I'm honest, I think we're kind of somewhere in the middle. We see both arguments, and we see that both have valid points on their own. But Forging Links, as far as we're concerned, within the private setting of talking one-to-one or one-to-two, one-to-three, we want to give the information that is factual and not create any confusion. Give you an example. I've got a call with Ben, who's my director, who's got a couple of people who want to take a look. I will have that conversation with them, and we'll give them all the facts, and then they make an informed choice. But what we want to make sure that Forging Links does is gives that balanced approach. So we're not saying yay or nay to either. We're saying we're actually, that there are arguments for and against either side. We just want to give you what we believe are the facts. And, some of you on this call may have different opinions on it, and that's why it's a chat. If you want to express your opinion, we don't want it to be negative. We're just trying to give it out as fairly and as openly and as honestly as we know. We're all in the same boat. We're all on the same ship. We're all following the same destination. There are just different views on it. So with that, if you'd like to proceed with the presentation, Kirsten.
Yeah, and I'm just going to chuck in there too. At the end of the day, we all saw this opportunity and got really excited. I'm more excited now than ever, just so that you know where my stance on it is. And I know people say, you know, it's all about facts and it's not about feelings. I kind of have a different view on that, because for me, discernment is a lot. So my feelings actually, I rely on my feelings a lot. So I'm just going to play this. We're all adults. You know, this is just so everyone can continue down whatever path they want. That's the only reason I'm sharing it. And I didn't record this. It's not a private conversation. This was on a public Zoom meeting. It was a presentation. So I don't have any qualms about sharing it. All right.
Stick to it, persevere, and I'm telling you, just in a few weeks' time, just give it some more time. There's some awesome, phenomenal things that is coming down the pipe. So all the stuff that we're complaining about, you know, they may hear about all of our complaining and they hear us. Trust me, they hear about every complaint that we have, because in our node group, we're representatives for the community, and we bring those complaints to the node group. And in that node group, we have corporate representatives that are there to answer our questions and to address our issues and things, because we represent the community. Okay, so they hear us, and they are not always as responsive or communicate the way we like for them to communicate, but it doesn't mean that they're not doing anything. Okay, they're not just not hearing us and not doing anything. Of course, they're doing things. They're making things happen, and they have been doing things all along. First of all, they had to stop the bleeding. Okay. The hemorrhaging was going on to the tune of $15 million a day. That wasn't a part of the plan. How would you like to lose $15 million a day just kind of dripping off of you? They had to cork it up and patch it up. So that was urgent, and that had to happen on an urgent manner. So they're taking care of all of that. Okay, they're fixing the platform, because the platform's got some holes in it. It's got some breakage here and there. So they're doing system recovery. That's taking place right now. And when that gets done, they're going to be able to know exactly where all the fixes are needed, and they're going to fix everything. Okay, but there are other things happening as well that I'm not at liberty to share with you right now. But the main thing I want to share with you, because I know how much you guys love me and you know how much I love you. So you know I'm not going to come to you and just tell you nonsense. Okay, so if I'm coming to you telling you that I came out of that meeting excited, is that enough to get you excited too? That should be enough to get you excited too, because I came out that meeting sitting right here from this chair right here, and I just got up and I was like, I didn't even know I could do a backflip. But I was doing backflips. Okay, I was that excited. Okay, so we are on the mend, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the mend, and we got great things that are coming. We still have some little things that we have to kind of fix. There may be some still band-aids and bleeding that's got to be patched up. We're going to still kind of like feel some pain along the way, you know, as we continue to transition into greater things. Because again, this is a transition that's about to take place. And as we transition into greater things, it's going to hurt. Okay, so we still have some pain that we're going to experience. Okay, but just as a mother, when she goes through those birth pains, when she holds that baby in her arm, it was worth every bit of it. It was worth every bit of it. Okay, and that is what's going to happen with us. It's going to be worth every single bit of it. Okay. And you heard it right here from Tammy today, and I'm saying it as a result of the information that was given to me. I don't have evidence of anything. I just have the results of a conversation that I had with corporate representatives. And trust me, you know, I asked pertinent questions. I didn't just ask I asked the hard ones. I asked the hard questions, all right? And I got answers to all of my hard questions. And I came out there very, 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 very excited. I'm really, really excited about what's about to happen. Okay, so again, can't give you the gory details. We have another meeting that's going to be coming up with the nodes in another week or so, either this week or next week, another one, meeting part 2. And we're going to get even more details about the progression, about how things are flowing along. So trust me, guys, this is good. This is all good. It is all very, very good. So we should really, really be excited. I'm excited. Hyper is not going anywhere. Okay, it's not going anywhere. You know, and if you just have a little bit of common sense about what we have, and have a little bit of common sense about the industry. If you think about the industry, and I know I must sound like a broken record because I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. The industry itself, the blockchain cryptocurrency industry, with metaverse on the rise, NFTs on the rise, in order for any company, and this is a $6 trillion industry, the metaverse and NFTs, $6 trillion. So there's companies that's all over the place that's tapping into this, right? But every single company that's tapping into this needs to have a community to support their projects. All of them. All of them. So there's a whole bunch of companies out there that would love to have what we have right here. So do you think the Hypertech Group is going to give up its most valuable asset, which is the community? Come on. I shouldn't even have to tell you that. I shouldn't even have to say that. You should know that. If you know the industry, and if you don't know the industry, shame on you, because we got the education system that's a part of our platform, and that's our product. The education part of this system is our product. And so if you don't know our product, then shame on you. And if you do know our product, you ought to know how valuable we are as a community. How valuable we are, you know? Because we can always pack up our bags and pack up our bonding love that we have as a community, and we can always go somewhere else. But Hyper doesn't want that. There's opportunities all over the place that we can go to, all over the place. Not as great as this one, but they're all over the place, right? They're all over the place. And the love that we have in this community is what causes this bond. You know, the love that we have, I mean, this bond that we have goes beyond HUs. It goes beyond the metaverse. It goes beyond NFTs. It goes beyond Mars Academy. It goes beyond Hyper. Okay, it goes beyond Hyper. This is what we have here. It goes beyond Hyper. But Hyper is the platform that where we all gathered, where this thing was birthed and where it was created. But it has created now. The monster is here. The monster of bonding love is here, and ain't nothing anybody can do to shake it, take it away, or do anything about it, because that's what love does. That's what love does. Okay, and that is what we have here. And you think Hyper and Hypertech Group and Sam Lee and those Mariah, you think they don't know this? They're not stupid. They know what we have, and they are going to leverage what we have. They have been considered the players in the industry. Why do they want to give up that spot? Why do they want to give up that spot? They'll be giving up that spot big time if they were to let us down. Well, they're not going to let us down. And also, what Hyper has done, another thing we have done, Hyper has also caused a whole, and my sister said this to me, and it was like very, very profound. So I'm going to give her kudos for saying this, because it's very, very profound and very, very true. Hyper has turned a lot of people into being less risk averse, because there's so many people that are on this platform that would have never done anything. They would have never done any opportunity at all whatsoever. So Hyper has really caused people to kind of come out of their comfort zone and come into this thing. There's so many, I know everybody has somebody on their team that would have never done this before, or that when they finally did it, they were surprised that they did it. Or they had a hard time explaining to whatever. But eventually they came on and did it once they saw your results. Hyper caused that. Hyper caused that. They cause people to come out of their comfort zone and to expand their risk aversion. Okay, it wouldn't have happened with anything else. There's no other platform out here that would have caused this kind of expansion with people here 80 years old, 87, 90 years old, you know, people that would have never done anything, doesn't know anything about technology, you know, never done a platform before, doesn't know anything about crypto, all kinds of people that are a part of this platform that would have never been here before. right? So we are the place to be, and this is not going to just go away. It's not going to just go away. So we need to think about that. There are so many different things that we need to understand that is just common sense knowledge to us. But at the same time, we know that, we have people that, this is the reason why we need each other, because we have to remind each other about the value that we bring. We have to remind each other about the value that we have and that we have with each other. So it's okay to get to a place where you're kind of wavering a little bit and you're thinking that things aren't going to get better. That's life. That happens all the time with everything in every situation of life. You go through life and it just, the way things. So we go through life and we look at things that are in front of us. We look at the appearance of things, and we know, spiritually and universally, behind the appearance of things is something better. But we have a trouble seeing behind what we see in front of us. So therefore we need each other to help us take down the barrier and the blinders of what we're looking at, so we can see past what's in front of us. We have to look past what's in front of us in order to see the betterment of a situation. And that's where people have been stuck. They're stuck right here with what's in front of them. And they're not even paying attention to, and don't even think about what's behind the curtain, what's beyond that situation. Okay? Every situation gets better. And we have to look beyond that and see that. And so we need each other to kind of help bring us along. And it's okay to get stuck in that place. That's normal. It's totally and completely normal as a human to get stuck on what you see. It's normal to get stuck on a situation that you see in front of you. So we need each other to kind of say, come on, it's going to get better. Come on, to encourage one another. Yeah, look at what they're doing. Look at what's happening. We got to just get a little bit further down the road, to kind of, you need to take somebody and put their arm around your shoulder and help them get a little further down. Just do that. That's normal. It's what we need to do. It's why we are here. It's why we have each other. So if you need to pick somebody up off the side of the road and help get them down the road, just do that. Okay? But trust me, down the road, there's better things going on. And we need to be excited. We need to be encouraged about what is actually happening. All right? We have a wonderful, wonderful platform here, and it's just going to explode. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I am so hyped up. Okay. Another little tidbit I want to give you, if you haven't already done this, go and whitelist on HyperNation. If you haven't already done it, go do that. Just a little sneak peek tidbit, can't say anything more, but do that. All right. Go and do that. If you haven't already whitelisted, go and do that. We have some real exciting things coming, ladies and gentlemen, and I just want to share that with you. I couldn't wait to get to this part of the presentation because so many people have already dropped off, and I really wanted to share it with a lot more people that were on here, but I didn't want to take away the time of people being able to ask their questions and make their comments. But I just wish that, I probably should have done a little earlier to catch the voice in the ear of others that were on the call earlier, because we need to hear that. This is a time right now where people need to hear about the fact that the best is yet to come. That's why I had you put that in the chat in the beginning. I said, the best is yet to come. I didn't have you put that in the chat for nothing. I had you put that in the chat because the best is yet to come. It gets greater later. It gets greater later. So I'm really, really excited. You should be really, really excited. And just keep an eye out, keep an ear out. If you have an upline, that's a node, you can go and maybe pick their brain and get some information. Just go get there. They probably can't give you a lot of information, but you can just get their feeling about what's going on. Just get their feeling. If you have a node that you can go to, everybody should. You may not know who they are, but everybody should have a node that you should be able to tap into. Your upline's on a node, then maybe their upline is, and so on. But everybody has a node to be able to tap into. And if you haven't, if you don't know who they are, find out who they are, and just kind of ask them how they're feeling now. Ask them how they're feeling, and I'm sure that they're going to get you really, really excited about that. So I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to share with you about good things that's coming down the pike, and it gets greater later. The best is yet to come. Hang in there, okay, team?
There we go. That was just much more of that at the end. But I want to know how you feel after that.
Question for you, Kirsten. Do you think she was excited?
Yeah. Yeah. I was
She
watching
was.
that. And where my confusion comes now is that she's saying, go back to your nodes, you know, because they've got the same information. I don't know that everyone's getting the same information.
No, I think there is a clear, a clear division, and as we've always maintained on this channel, that we're going to be open and honest, and we're going to be as transparent as we can with the information we've got. There are one or two people on here who I'd like to invite to come on. I've already kind of preempted this. Jamie, if we get enough time, because I think the conversation will dictate whether we do a little bit of technical training or not, because it is really about people understanding where they are. So I'm going to ask a very special lady, somebody that I've got to know and getting to know, and she looks like she's sitting on her throne, but she's actually laying down in bloody bed. So I'm going to ask the crazy Bitcoin lady if you'd like to unmute and just give us your take. Where do you see we're at? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Open forum. No, we're not looking at negative comments. We're just real feelings. Where do you think you're at? Go on.
I just want to say thank you for showing me that, because I didn't see it, because the presentations are not getting posted anywhere now all of a sudden. So I didn't think they were still going on. And that's what other people mostly think as well. If I didn't know and I'm a VIP, then nobody knows. Do you know what I mean? And the divide it's doing my head in, I'll be honest. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Sharon's in the node group, isn't she? So why is she not seeing what Tammy's seeing? This is where I'm really confused.
Same.
You know what I mean? I don't get it. Obviously, I know she's under Calpeach and she's sticking by Calpeach because he said down tools. Maybe she just feels obliged to do that. I have no idea, but she's not told me any different. You know what I mean? She's not said anything to use. And I'm like, obviously, Tammy then he's saying, I'll go to your nodes. But our nodes are on the different spectrum, you know what I mean? So it's hard for people because obviously one side is saying one thing and then Calpeach and his team are saying another thing. You know, what I think what happened is because obviously the manipulation within the system that's caused the company financial, hardship. I think, I don't know, but this is my thoughts, maybe because we had a call, didn't we? And they said it's going to be on point scores, whether people get the money out and stuff. Obviously, people who haven't, they'll get the money out. But people who have manipulated it can basically do one. Do you know what I mean? So, and I know a lot of them have had multiple accounts. I think she had like 5 VIP 5 accounts, didn't her? But I know at the time, when everybody joined, you was able to do that. I even got told when I joined I could have as many as I wanted, but I didn't do that because I knew from previous experience it messed the company up and it failed. So I didn't do that. So why these people that have been involved with companies before and it's happened to them before, why they did that, I have no idea. Because this is what it boils down to now.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that, because again, you can hear that is as raw as you get. That is where people's minds are. Just going back on a couple of the things that Tammy said, and then I'll kind of jump in on what Sharon's told us, because obviously Sharon's our direct, is that she talked about the bleeding, the fact that, there have been some people who have, as bluntly as I can put it without swearing, is they've took the piss. They've come in with automated robots and just created thousands and thousands of accounts all with different email addresses, all with different IP addresses. And the company, when it's come to, things like KYC, it's just been an absolute nightmare for them, because you can't, if you've got a bot somewhere in the back setting up accounts, you can't verify those accounts. And it would appear, as I understand it, and my technical knowledge isn't great, but because they haven't been able to clarify who these accounts are, and the fact that they are just sitting passively, they've basically took the cake right from underneath us. They're bleeding the company at a tune of 15 million a day. And we can't verify who they are, or not us, but the company can't verify who these accounts are. There's no KYC for them. So they had to find a way of how do we stop that? And right now, that's where we are. They're trying to stop it. They're trying to find a way. How do we resolve this? How do we keep it good for those who have been honest and genuinely came in under the conditions that we were presented with? You know, I've got 3 accounts. I know others have got 3, 4, 5 accounts. And as far as I understand it, they will honor those accounts. There's no issue with that. The company's going forward. They're trying to fix it. They're trying to cut up the bleeding. And they want us to carry on and, you know, do everything that they promised we would do. I'll just take Kirsten. I think you had your hand up, and then we'll come over to Tracy.
I was just going to say, when I first came in, I opened accounts for my children and grandchildren across the front line. And when I applied to be a corporate presenter, they asked me if I had multiple accounts, and I said yes. And I told them what they were. I told them that they were for my children and grandchildren. And then they sent me all the stuff saying, yes, go ahead and do your presentation. So they weren't worried about people like us that have opened them for our families and that. They're after the ones with the massive amounts. All right. I think going forward, it's going to, because it's not even just a little divide. It's like a split. There's some people like Kirsten, those presentations are still on every day. Today's the only day that there isn't one. Tomorrow morning, my time, 7 a.m. will be on. The presentations are on every day. They're getting, 6, 7, 1,000 people in the room. And on that call that Tammy did yesterday, one of the first guys that raised his hand at the end of the presentation said, I'm confused. So are we supposed to still be inviting people to this? And she was like, what kind of a question is that? I don't understand your question. Of course we're inviting people. This was a presentation. Of course you invite people. This is like one of the best things ever. So very, very confusing. And I think for us going forward, Paul and I, we won't be showing the presentation to anyone because we feel like that's kind of not where they're at. But if there's people that are interested in coming onto the platform, we'll just sit and have a chat with them one-on-one and just say, look, this is where we're at the moment. It's like, because they haven't shut down the invite link. So you're still coming in and they're still 4Xing, and that's still a contract. So we're bringing people in saying, come in with the minimum. Don't come in with 10K or 20K just yet. Come in with the 400. Get educated as much as you can on this platform, because that's why we're going through the Mars Academy on these chats, because that's where the power is going to lie going forward. Going into the metaverse, imagine if we know what the hell we're doing when we get in there, or even a slight little hint of what we're doing. We're going to be so much ahead of so many people. And then that way we can help other people when we get in there.
Brilliant. Yeah, just want to echo that. This HyperNation information, and I think Tracy may be back in a sec. What that's going to create for us is the going forward. And once we know how that is presented, what I did get from the video, Kirsten watched it live, I got the recording, and you kind of get a different vibe from recording, as we're always saying. So I had to watch it 2 or 3 times, and I'll be honest with you, because I was kind of getting I was picking up different bits, and I thought, hold on, what was that? And what I did come away with in the end is that once they fix this, and it's, the bleeding stopped and the hemorrhaging stopped and everyone's sewed up and all the bad stuff has been taken away, these multiple bot accounts, then going forward, we kind of get a clean slate. And, boom, well, as you say, we're ready to go.
Yep.
So that's what I took from that. as they trying to discern what was valuable, what I could kind of not take much notice of. And I'll be honest with you, 95% of what Tammy said sounded great to me. It aligned with what Forging Links is trying to do. We won't be presenting the presentation because we know that that's likely going to change and there'll be a new one for the HyperNation. So we know all that. They're facts. We're not hiding nothing. They are the facts.
Yeah. What
we do want to make sure is that we keep the vibe, we keep the energy. If you've got somebody that wants to look at this, come in, have a chat. We've got Tracy, who's a VIP. We've got, crazy Bitcoin lady who's a VIP. We've got Jamie, who's a VIP. So there is enough leadership within this group alone where we can have those conversations and say, look, this is the facts. The company is still giving you the Forex. They're still giving you the education. They're still giving you the platform. You can still go in and buy the coins.
They've never let us down before. Like I've been in a year now and they've never let us down. So I don't believe they're going to let us down. Just like Tammy said, they're not stupid. Why would they put a community of this size only to piss them all off? They're not going to do that.
Not in the slightest. So Tracy, are you okay? Come back in. Is your signal strong enough? And then we'll have Jamie. Go on, Tracy.
I just wanted to come on and say that, sorry, I've been carrying in my pocket with the video off lately. I'm pretty busy in the mornings. I've got COVID in the household and blah, 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 blah. I just wanted to say that I'm still super excited about this platform. Yeah, there's some hiccups right now, and we a little bit unsure of exactly what things are going to look like, but we can rest assured that whatever it looks like, it's better than anything else that's out there.
Absolutely. Well said. Couldn't have said that any better myself. Yeah. Thank you, Tracy. Jamie, if you'd like to unmute. I did try to co-host you, but it's not letting me, so looks like Kirsten's got the power today.
That video there was absolutely awesome. I haven't seen that presentation because it's too late for us. But hearing the passion of Tammy has completely, I've been saying all the way through, this company's not going anywhere. We've got 1.5 million members. Without any members, this company's nothing. Yep. They are absolutely nothing. It's the same as Coca-Cola. The first year, they sold 25 bottles of Coke in the first year. And look at them now. Without customers, they're nothing. Without the community, they haven't got a business. The business is just gone. You know what I mean? They're not going to get rid of 1.5 million people. The reason why withdrawals on MOF are being pulled is with these bots because they are pulling out so many millions and and the markets are absolutely flat. We're in a bear pit, red all over. If all these millions and millions come out, the coin's dead. The coin will be like Luna. Like last week, the coin Luna is gone because that was done by. But when you look at the markets, if all this millions and millions and millions, they've got millions there because on OKX today alone, they made 1.2 billion in 24 hours. So the money wise is there. Who exchange, they make billions a day, and the money's there. But when they're paying out on an Autobot.
Yeah.
What's paying V5 wages, V5 bonuses, and it's somebody who set it up and now they got busted. They can't get KYC, they can't get the system. I've been told it's based in Italy. That's what people keep saying, but could be anywhere else. But this company is never going to go anywhere because today they've launched an HyperNation pack. I've sent it Paul and a few others, of course, and the team of Winners Network. It's 68 pages long for about setting up NFTs, how to pitch them, how to do them. And if you look at HyperNation, and like we said last night, when you were watching the videos, whenever them videos and that academy were done, it's talking about now. It's talking about smart contracts. It's more, things what they do in the academy. And people say this company's not communicating. They don't need to tell somebody who's a V5 what's happening because these are board of directors. These are multi-billionaires. You're not dealing with network marketers. These are billionaires where their vision is 2-3 years in advance, and it's coming because when the white paper's there says everything. It says it on the white paper. We got it through yesterday. You go through all the nuts and bolts on that and you think to yourself, this company, the only place this company's going it's going to have the best metaverse probably on the planet and the community.
Yes, because
God
it's our
blimey.
community.
Thanks for that, Jamie. You've just given me another.
I'm very
flip, I think.
passionate.
I thought we had enough problems with 21 page on the flipping white paper. Now you just threw me another 68 page here. Oh dear. This is going to go on for a while. Right, Chris, you did have your hand. Do you want to come on, my friend?
Yeah, he's on. He's spotlighted. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, well, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Okay, well, thank you very much for letting me come on the group, because I'm not directly under you and all the rest of it. I'm directly under Dan, I believe. But anyway, thanks for letting me on, and very, very interesting video, very confidence inspiring. And one of the interesting things was that she said that she couldn't let us have any of the details. That means that the details are going to come out later on. Which is quite interesting to say the least. It's a shame that I do feel as though we could have had a bit more information on our group as well. If they've known that or known what Tammy knows. I'm not really too sure. Paul, you were on this VIP 1 meeting which decided that there's going to be more information coming out on the powwow. So I don't know if there's anything different there, but if there is,
yeah, well, what I will do, because from what Bitcoin lady Kirsten mentioned was that, obviously there are 2 camps. Right now, from the information, and I do speak to Sharon and Dan, and I've even been on a call with Kalpesh today. So I do get the VIP 5 information, but, let me reassure you guys, there really isn't anything there for them to share. All it would serve to keep people guessing, keep people speculating, keep saying, well, what about this? What about that? So Sharon and Dan's decision from, Team Distinction point of view was, well, look, we can get on a call every day with you guys. And they've offered that. But the point of what they were saying is we wouldn't be giving you any more information because we haven't got it. Tammy has kind of alluded that there is a little bit more information. But what's happening is the company are treating each of the nodes literally as separate entities, which personally, if I'm honest, I think that's wrong. If we've got a community of VIP 5 who are supposed to be our nodes and on our leaders, then shouldn't they really all be in the same meeting? I know there's about, 300, I think it's like 400 or 500 of them now. We're on a Zoom that we can hold 1,000 people. So for me, corporate could have just put all the super nodes all on one call and said, right, this is what we are, this is where we are, this is what we've got, this is where we want to be. And right now, they just seem to be drip feeding. And I can only be transparent with what I've been shared, guys. And in answer to Chris's question, I don't think they know anything more than anybody else. It's just that people are putting what is maybe their interpretation. And what I can tell you, and I do stand by Sharon and Dan, because they're not only my upline, but they're also very personal friends. And I don't believe that they would in any way want to mislead me or misguide me, because I have a tendency, like Kirsten mentioned about having discernment. I can kind of read people, and I can kind of tell you if someone's lying to me or hiding behind a mask, dare I say it. But the issue is, I feel confident that they really don't have the answers. And what they're waiting for, and I'll be honest with you guys, they still haven't had their official communication. They were able to jump on the corporate call of somebody else and ask those questions. So in that sense, I really do, honestly, hand on heart, believe that they really haven't got anything more to offer. But when they do, and anybody that was in the VIP 2 group today, you will have seen that there was a little bit of banter going around, and people wanted this and people asking that. And I actually raised a comment and I said, look, I believe Sharon and Dan, as our upline, don't have the answers that you want. So would it serve any purpose to have another call where people are just going to come on, well, what about this? Well, what about that? When they haven't got the answers. So I actually said to the group, in quite honest and in my yellow mellow approach, I said, look, give these guys a break. If they've got information, I'm confident that they will share that information. And
No,
what was more, sorry?
I was just going to bust in there. The whole point of that little bit that you're talking about was we were given access to information in that VIP or VIP 1 and above chat.
Yeah.
And that information needs to go out to the whole group. The information that
Yeah.
we got is what I mean.
But what was agreed, if you go back on the recording of that, and again, I'm not taking sides, but I do remember what was said, because while I might forget your name, I don't tend to misinterpret information. What was agreed on that call, and Sharon asked a specific question to all the VIP ones and above, do we share this with the wider community, or do we wait till we have further notice? And I can categorically tell you all, guys, the decision of that group was to wait until they had more clarity.
I have
now,
one thing to
hold
say.
on, let me just finish. Sorry?
I was that person. They said, do you think that this should go out to everyone? And I said in the comments, yes, I agree that it should go out to everyone at the same time. And then they said, right, it's going out on the powwow on Monday. And then the call was done. I was like, no, not Monday. That's miles away.
They did say on the Monday powwow, which is obviously coming after this weekend, hopefully they will have had a chance to speak to more nodes, get their feelings, what was their understanding from the corporate, information. And I'm sure if there's any more information, they will share that. So I don't believe they're trying to mislead our community. I'll be honest with you, hand on heart.
I believe that either.
I think Kirsten will agree. Yeah, it would be nice to share what was said, but in all honesty, there wasn't that flipping was said. It was more, again, speculative. Well, is it this? Is it that? Could be, maybe not. And that would have only served to put even more confusion out there. What we do know, and what was on that call, and we'll say it how it was, the company are still doing what they said they would do. They're giving us the 4X. They're going to honour all contracts. They're going to make sure that anybody coming in is going to be treated first. So to give an example about my interpretation of that was the VIP, and this might even include me because I'm approaching VIP 3, they may very well say to me, well, okay, Paul, you came in with X amount, you've had X amount out, so we're going to kind of put you at the bottom of the list. We're going to make sure all the new contracts and all the, what we sort of working up from new to old, or the other way around, whichever way, descending or ascending, they're going to make sure that they honoured the contracts of people who came in the last, and we use a scripture on that, don't we? The first shall be last, the last shall be first. So the last people in, as I understand that, they will make sure that they honour all of those contracts, and they'll just work up on a point system until everybody is paid out, whether you came in this week or whether you come in tomorrow. Those contracts will stay in force, and they will give you what they promise you, a 4X. And then when that contract runs, you'll still have, as Kirsten mentioned, the 4X, the rebuy is still there. Why would they want us to rebuy if they weren't going to honor that contract? As everybody knows, a rebuy is a new contract. It's a brand new one. And they haven't taken that away. If you remember, those of you remember the 1.0 to 2.0, they went from 3, they dropped the 3X, and they gave us a certain time to complete, all of our 3Xs. And then they said, right, as of this date, you've got the option to move over to 2.0. And they offered us an even better package, which was the 4.0. But in fairness, and I keep saying crazy Bitcoin lady, Kirsten, she'll remember that process, because we went through that and people were saying, well, is it, isn't it? Well, it's not as good. We were getting 0.5, we were getting it quicker and all that. But when you actually broke that down, the 4X was a better deal. It was more sustainable. It would give longevity, whereas the 3X was always going to be subject to going up or down depending on the market. What we've got now is an even better offer coming down the line, which I'm 100% confident with when the when the HyperNation train pulls up and we know exactly how that works. I do believe, and Kirsten's the same, we're totally united on this. We believe that that's going to be even better again.
Yeah.
But right now, we don't know what that is. And as soon
But
as
it
we
doesn't
do,
seem like it's too far away either. In the same, like even from what Sharon and Dan said, and Tammy, it doesn't feel like it's that far away. It's just this little few weeks here where we just got no idea.
I think it's probably 2 to 3, 4 weeks at the most.
Yeah.
And I can't wait, because I'm as excited to know what that is. It's like, it's like being shown Christmas Day, isn't it? You're going to get all these presents, but it's 3 or 4 weeks away, but you want the presents now. And that's why we've got this channel, because what we don't want is people getting stressed out, people getting anxious, people, I suffer with mental health. I've been through 2 breakdowns. I've had a 7-year, where I was in a depression. So I know what that feels like. So I don't want to be in that space again. So for me and for Kirsten and for Forging Links and anybody in this community, we are staying as positive with the information we have. Now, you may have a different take on that, and that's why we're giving you this forum to express what you might think that is. But for me, I'm in it to win it, and I ain't going anywhere. And I don't believe, as Jamie said, I don't believe this company is going to go anywhere, certainly when they've got 1.5 million. And that 1.5 million in any company would be highly, highly significant. They're not going to lose that.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
A couple of things, Paul. Yeah, hang on, Paul. A couple of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just out of just for general interest, I did a withdrawal on Monday, only 1,000 HU. That went through okay with Moff. And I'd done one 5 days previously as well. So they've gone through, one went through in, I think, 24 hours, and the other went through in about 18 hours.
How long
have you been in Hyperverse? Are you like?
Well, that's the point. I joined in November, 1st of November.
It's still 6 months.
And although I'd like to build, I'm not very good at it. So basically, I'm relatively passive in that I've only got a couple of people in, but I have put a decent amount of cash in. So maybe that's why I've got mine out pretty easily, because I haven't drawn out yet.
That's Paul's saying, yeah.
So it sort of bears witness to what you just explaining.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Chris, because that just goes to show.
But I've got a couple of questions as well. You sort of answered one of them, but does it, in your opinion then, because we were talking the other day about migration, they were talking about the migration to HyperNation. Are they going to run parallel? Is Hyperverse going to be run down? But just what you're saying earlier on, of course, is that all the contracts are going to be all honored. And of course, I did a rebuy today as well.
Yeah, I'm still rebuying.
I'm sure that's going to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's this word migration mean? What does migration mean? I know what it means for birds, but I'm not sure about HUs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of covered this yesterday, so it's worth repeating it, because it is crucial. It's a very important part of this whole process. When the company first started, they were always an investment group, but they were never, ever an MLM group. Now, because they were always going to be in the DeFi space as they were developing out this ecosystem, they had to find a model by which they could take it to people, and that became what we now know as an MLM, and it became Hyperverse. The problem, or not the problem, the issue now is, in order to take HyperNation forward, they're going to go from a reward program to an investment program again. So while we don't know the dynamics of that, it is clearly, and I'm speaking out of facts now, not my opinion, for it to be a regulated space, then it has to be transparent. And the only way it can be transparent is if it's in a financial market. So HyperNation, as I understand it, and I've been in financial services for a while, that HyperNation is going to be regulated. Now, for me, that's a good thing, because what it means is the company has to be 100% transparent. There's going to be ledgers, there's going to be accounts that can be verified, because that, whatever that contract form is, it's an investment. So if they want to bring on investors, and I'm talking now not your 400 HU and your 1,000 or your 10,000, I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of billions of pounds, that space has to be regulated. Because could you imagine, Chris, if you put 100 billion into this and then the plug got pulled on it, are you not going to go and complain about that? And I can tell you categorically, as a financial, having served in financial services, that's where this migration is going to take place, from our current rewards platform to an investment area that is going to be regulated. Where we get the advantage of being in the DeFi space, which is decentralized finance, we can take out our rewards, our investment return, whatever words you want to use at this point, and we can put all of that into the DeFi space, so we can still create our own personal wealth. But for the investor, they want their money protected. And the only way that institutional investors have their money protected is when it's regulated, because trust me, that company can't go anywhere if they're in the regulated space, because that's the difference. So in answer to the migration, they're going to honor all our current contracts, be it whether we've got 1, 5, 10, 20, but the bot ones who can't verify their KYC, they're gone. They're out of here. And the company will just say, right, that's it. We're not going to pay those people, whoever they are. And it is a robot, by the way. They can't verify their account, so they will be just out. And then this migration will just give us, for me, a far better secure environment, and we can play both of the games. We're safe in the investment. We've got assurances. In fact, we've even got guarantees under that, by the way, because you can't offer a service of investments unless you are offering guarantees. So for those who come in with the big amounts of money, and we're talking trillions and trillions and billions, they will be given a specific contract to say, let's say, I'll use you, Chris, as the example, as it's your question. If you were to come in with 100 billion, you're going to want some assurances that you're going to get a return on that. And that return will be somewhere between 8 and 10% per annum, as is all traditional investments. Think of stocks and shares, think of the markets, think of property. All of those traditional institutional investment areas all pay between 8 and 12%. And this is where the security element comes in. All of those contracts issued, including ours, whether we come in with 400 or 1,000, we're going to be paying for that in USDT, which is a stable coin. So although we're going to have also the option to come in with HVT and also MOF, from a contractual point of view, our investment into this new HyperNation is secured under SEC regulations, under the Financial Code, Financial Conduct Authority, and whatever your equivalent of that is, whatever country you're in. So I'm happy about that. I'm really pleased about that.
Jamie's got something to say.
Jamie,
do you want to ask us a question?
I found out a few days ago, you know, when they did these buy with HVT at Lotus and so on, and these prizes, they put like an iPhone and then you bought them with HVT and stuff. And that's how they found out who these Autobots are, because that Lotus one got sold out. It was like you needed 1 million tickets to be sold, and the 1 million tickets got sold within probably hours. And if you saw the bar, it went up. The Lotus from one day was like 1,000 tickets were sold. The next minute, the Autobot got on them transactions. Yeah. That's how they busted them, and that's why they stopped the prizes, because there's a few of them what got sold out straight away within minutes, and it was an Autobot.
Wow.
That's why we have him on.
How did you
That's
find
why
that
we.
out?
You just read, you see it in the Telegram and stuff. And what happened is they found out then they dug deeper. It's an Italian team. Somebody's got 300 accounts at least, and there's another one who's got multiple accounts. And what they were doing is they were getting them prize draws, absolutely loading the bot up because they got the HVT behind them, and they busted them on that side. But then the KYC will absolutely cripple them.
That makes sense.
And that's why the Lotus was nowhere sold. It was like, you know, them prizes were stupid because you never got a Lotus. You know what I mean? You got the value of the Lotus. Somebody spent hours putting pictures on and the value, but all you got is the value of that car. If they sold 1 million tickets, there's no way on earth they would have sold that 1 million tickets. But yeah, that's what I've been told. Don't know if it's 100% true, but then suddenly all these KYCs have come in and, you know, people's accounts. But a lot of these chats now are being shut down.
But
and that's where I got
makes sense, Jamie, because in those chats, the Italian ones were all in there saying, it seems it's just our group that they're holding up the KYC. It's just us in Italy. It's just us in Italy. I saw that.
No, it was when the chats were open, you could see all the scam. You can see them, but when you read through them, there were certain people were going, we bought so many tickets for this Lotus, and next minute this Lotus said the prize draw was not valid. They cancelled it. And it was all. Then suddenly all the chats got slowed down because they're doing it. Because on the other side, on the other angle, you know, when they're protecting them off, you know, when Chris has got paid out, that's brilliant. You know, I'm still waiting for pending rewards on there. It's down to that. If they cut the higher V5s, 4s from 3s out a bit, that's where the damage is happening because these Autobots are high up. They're not on somebody who's an expert or somebody's just come in. These Autobots are V5s. That's where the damage is. So if they slow that down, the market gets protected. The MOF's not going anywhere because it is going to be one of the main coins in HyperNation. Yeah. And that's been switched from HVT. But,
you know, thanks for that.
You wanted to ask Chris something, Jamie, in the chat? I just saw, I think Chris missed the question.
Which platform, Chris, did you send it to? Was it OKX, Who Exchange, HyperPay for your MOF?
I sent it to the
Who Exchange, yeah?
The Who Exchange, yeah. I quite like the Who. I've got other coins on there as well. And
I'm just seeing on my side, there's, you know, I always try to find out the best way of getting it out. If there was a way of getting it out and it was going to Who or OKX or HyperPay, then, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I did a withdrawal from one of my smaller accounts, and it come within 2 days to HyperPay. But then suddenly, it's still 10 days, the next one after that. But it was like HyperPay was working, OKX wasn't, Who Exchange wasn't, but then you said Who, so there's not like a pattern on there.
No.
So just try and sort some pattern out on it, but no.
Answer that question in the chat. One took less than 18 hours, and the other took, I think, about 26 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
So again, we can see that it is coming out to some people. I'll be honest with you. I've got, and again, I'll be totally transparent. I've got 8,000 still in pending. I can't get a penny out. So for me, I'm probably going to be, quite low down on the list because as far as the company is concerned, they're going to look at all the ones higher up and say, well, okay, you've kind of had, a 6 months, 8 months, 12 months run. Let's protect the new people coming in. Let's make sure that they
just during this lull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, once
remember
it's
though, you're loading in half a billion a day. They load 500,000. They are loading in on the MOF address. 500,000 and more a day is going into that account. So they are loading it. It's not going to be like what. But every day, if you check the addresses and stuff, what comes out in the groups and stuff, there's 3,000 transactions on average a day with that address coming from Hyperverse, and like I say, it's well over 500. I think it was half a million a day. So yeah, the money is definitely being pumped back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
And that's all logged in it.
So everything's good, guys. It's just, as I say, they've had to deal with it, you know, what I can only describe as an A&E environment, where, you know, you have to, you know, if someone's coming with a heart attack, you got to deal with the heart attack. You don't worry the fact that their leg's bleeding. You go in and you fix the heart attack. So and that's from somebody who's had a heart attack, so I know how that goes. So for me, they're trying to stop the bleeding, which is the 15 million a day going out. They're trying to get that sorted. Once they've stopped the hemorrhage, sew it up, stops the bleeding. Then if there are any other problems further down the line, they can start addressing them. But right now, they're still dealing with the hemorrhaging. So that's why it is very slow, and that's why I can't get any of my HU rewards out. What I can get is my HVT, and I'm grateful for Jamie for helping me, and I know Kirsten, that crazy Bitcoin woman, and I love that headboard. I hope it's solid gold, not one of them plastic ones. But the issue is, you know, if I've got to sit back for another 3-4 weeks before they solve that, then I've just got to sit back and wait. I'm happy. I'm all good. Could I do with a little bit more money? You better believe it. Because like Kirsten, you know, this was what we came in thinking, that this was going to be, you know, everything for us. And I still believe that is, but we're just going through these challenges and these problems. And yeah, 3 or 4 weeks down, we'll be looking back at this recording and saying, flipping heck, what was all that fuss about?
Exactly.
So it's just one of them, isn't it? You kind of got to go through it. You know, it's like a storm, isn't it? You know, you always know that even when you go through a storm, it's always going to be a silver lining, as the song goes. And
you've got to remember.
And you'll never walk alone.
Yeah, all these songs.
Well, I rest my case on it.
We've got to remember where we're at in the life cycle of the metaverse, right? We're at the very flipping beginning. Of course, there's going to be a few bumps and stuff in the road. Like, remember where we're at. We're the crypto pioneers.
Absolutely. Just looking at one of the questions there, Kirsten, I've just saw in the chat.
Yep.
Sarah's iPad, may I please ask how much MOF you put through your withdrawal? The question for that, Sarah, would be, if you're fairly new, I would keep it, you know, keep the numbers down. Maybe, I don't know, 500, the equivalent of maybe, you know, 200-300. If you try and draw it off 20,000.
I put in, if I just interject there, I did 2 withdrawals of 1,000 each. So 2 times 900 MOF. And they went through without a problem.
Was that you mean 900 and 1,000 HU as MOF?
Yeah, 1,000 HU.
Yeah.
900 of which was MOF and 100 was HVT.
HVT, perfect.
Yeah. That answers that question very well. Yeah, if you try and draw 20,000 off in one lump sum, you might have, it's a bit of a problem.
On that note, Paul, Paul, on that note, would it be worth you cancelling those withdrawals of 8,000 and just trying to get 1,000 down?
Yeah, it's just been so busy. I just haven't got around to it. But yeah, for me, I'm just going to cancel them. I'm going to get them put back into my MOF. So what I'm going to be doing really is just stacking MOF, because I know that coin, certainly in relation to HyperNation, that coin will go through the roof. And again, we covered this yesterday, so I'm just going to reiterate what that was. Even though we as a community of beautiful, wonderful, lovely people that you all are, with maybe 1 or 2 of you need to have your faces looked into, but it's beautiful. The world is beautiful out there, guys. But 2 billion in sales does not move the market. People selling their coin as if it's gone out of fashion does. So right now, these bots are just taking all of the rewards out of us, and it's dropping the price.
Here, Paul. Ray said, hey guys, do you think by some teams downing tools it will affect the business because we are not bringing memberships to the business? Good question.
It is a good question, and in honesty, again, you know, you got to make the decision for yourself. I think
Jane made a good comment this morning in our chat. She said, exactly right. Downing tools. Why bite the hand that feeds you?
Yeah. And I think that's really where we're at, because I'm in that position where, you know, this is my only income source. I haven't got anywhere else to go right now. But the benefits of that is I'm, you know, if like I think I shared it yesterday anyway. I have a client that wants to come in with 20K. And I said, no, I want you to come in with 400. Have a look at the back office. I'll meet with you every day. We'll talk about it. We'll, you know, show you how it all works. And I said, then as soon as we know where we are in the 4 weeks it takes, then you will have all the information and you can make an informed choice as to whether you want to put that 20K in. And with what I believe is coming, I think she'll want to put that 20K straight in. Yeah. So that's where we go. Somebody else,
you know these cancelling withdrawals.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've told Paul the other day. On the 18th of April, I got one stuck for pending for ages. So I went on to chat support. I've never been on chat and support before. And what they said is they were going to cancel it down. And they did it. And it was done when they said within 12 hours or whatever. It was cancelled. What happens is when you cancel the withdrawal out, it stays in MOF, so you could then stake it on one of the projects and stuff. But replacing them withdrawals back to Hyperpay or whichever, you know, OKX, it still didn't come out on the pending. It's still sitting as pending. But what I did is I made them smaller, went to a different broker. Instead of OKX, I went to Hyperpay. I switched them around. They're still sitting pending. They haven't still worked even switching them. So if you cancel them, it still stays in MOF. You can't switch it to HVT. They'll still stay in MOF. You can't just completely go back and then do them as HVT at the moment.
It's a way of holding MOF, which is a good thing.
What that will do for anybody like me, where I've got 1,000 worth of HU in pending, if all of the, you know, sorts of VIP ones and above, because that's where, you know, that's where a lot of the rewards are right now, they're all in that same boat. So what's going to happen when all of that liquidity comes back? It's going to help move the price, because we're not talking, you know, 500. We're talking millions of HU that are currently impending. So if the only way to get that back out for VIP ones and above is to bring it back into the, you know, bring it back into liquidity and bring it in and put that into MOF, then that just further secures the value and the strength of MOF. So that's all good. So I'm happy to.
Once you bring it back into MOF, you can stake it in the DeFi and Hyper on your own back office. I've gone in and put all mine in there.
So what they're trying to do.
And also, as well, if you do cancel your pending orders, what's going back in April, your rate in April the 18th, say, would have been 10 MOF. It's now down to 3 MOF. So the other thing, what would happen is if you do cancel it, you will get more MOF for your money because it's a lot lower. You would have got that anyway. If that pending withdrawal hits tomorrow, it's not going to be a 10 or 9, whatever you did it in April. It's going to be a 3.
Yeah.
So if you cancel it, you will get you more MOF. You might have to wait in the pending or put it in DeFi or something, but you're going to get more MOF. Then when the rates go up, happy days.
You're going to be quids in. Brilliant.
All right.
Anybody else?
Well, we're past the hour. Is there anyone else that's got anything to say today? If not, we're going to close. We try to keep it to about an hour.
Yeah.
No, there's no one else.
Well, quick geographical thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
On a personal note, I'm actually calling from Germany.
Wow.
Never mind. So somebody has to live there.
Paul, you've got to be quiet on this one, and I'll tell you why. I'm on holiday. And here you go, Paul. I actually live in Norris Green.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Shut the flipping front door. How long are you here for? How long are you here for? Are you here permanently now in Norris Green?
No, he's on holiday in Germany.
I've been there 6 years.
No, hold on, I'm confused now. Are you in Liverpool? But you're on holiday in Germany.
But I'm on holiday visiting my daughters in Germany.
Well, do me a favour. Let's get up and let's have lunch when you get back.
Definitely.
Because that'd be nice.
Whereabouts do you live?
I live in Wavertree, just at the end of the M62.
I know.
Do you know where Edge Lane is? Yeah.
Yeah.
My new office up until today was McDonald's.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
I think
so
we'll go somewhere in town.
yes, we certainly will. No, that'd be good. Look forward to meeting you, Chris.
Just
Okay, guys.
Just a couple of housekeeping thing, guys. We've got our team huddle tomorrow morning, our time, but I'll put that in the Forging Links group. If you're not in our group and you want to be in it, just find it on Facebook or go to somebody that you know and they can invite you in. And I'll also put it in the Expert Academy. But we have a team huddle, which is where we just have a chat, like pretty much like what we did today. So we deviated from our education today, but that, and keep the positivity. Don't let the negative bring you down, because this is all about frequency and vibration. And if you fall into that, guess what you're going to attract? More of the same. So keep it high, guys. Keep it high. I love you and leave you until tomorrow.
Thanks, Kirsten.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Great call. Bye now.
Forging links.
Forging links, one person at a time.